Good morning, Wiser Nation. Good morning. So good to have us here today. Glory to God. We are alive and well. We are strong. We are ready to take on the new life or the new lives that we have all made decisions toward over this 30 days. Can you believe it that we're already on day 30 at Wiser? Day 30. Oh my goodness. This is now allow me go all churchy on you. This is the day of enthronement. I remember when I was 26 and I was thinking about my 30th birthday and my 40th birthday and my 50th, and I was making certain commitments, and these are the things I wanted to do on those years. The one thing I wanted to do on my 30th birthday was to know God more, because I said to myself that is what will bring me into enthronement. Joseph became prime minister at 30. David became king at 30. At least he sat on the throne at 30. Jesus started his ministry at 30. That was significant number enough for me. And I said that will be my year of enthronement and empowerment. So for 2 years, from my 28th birthday till my 30th, that was when I began intentionally studying the word every single day. And then that was when I started studying one proverb a day will keep foolishness away. So this day 30 it gives me some feeling of nostalgia. And you people know I like to cry. Any small thing, tears will just come out. So they're just tears lining. I'm just holding them because I just feel like, in addition to everything we have known today, there will be an explosion in the lives of certain people. All of us will make decisions that will indeed make us weep tears of joy. When we get to 30th December 2022, we'll look back and we'll go, my goodness, that day. So I thank you all for coming. Chidima, Emmanuel, Chinwe, Rachel, Blessing, Ogechi, Obulu, Mavi, George, Cheer, Donna, Beauty Cook, Lucky, Christiana, Nkemjika, Joy Simeon, Lacey, Nkechi Scribe, Love Akman, Dorcas, Anthony, Madumere, Ekoma, Simeon Achieve, I'm not sure I mentioned that before, Motola Isi, Ekene Obika, let's see, Omotense, Alabi, Grace Shalom, Give Josiah, Chisom, Erica, Tobesti, Weze Teklan, Mommy, you're here, Nancy Woman, my mom. Good morning, Mommy. And I know Daddy's there too, so good morning, Daddy. Thank you for joining us today. Emmanuel Livinus, Ezekiel, Bidemi Shitu, Naomi, Jerome, Ogechi Otugo. I think these are the names I have seen. If I missed your name, I am sorry. Elizabeth Adere Shola, good morning. Today we have with us someone who I am honored to have. Honored because I know it is a sacrifice she has made for us. I do not take it, not that I do not take it for granted. No. I am overjoyed that she committed to this. She's a woman who is giving to seeing people grow financially. Remember when John Obidi came here? Let's even start back. Let's start from Patrick. When Patrick Wakogo was here, he talked about the New York Stock Exchange. He said a lot about it, and many of us were interested. How do we get in? How do we get in? So we said, when John comes, we would ask John. So when John came, he said, oh, yeah, you can, with some system, you get your US account, you get your US social security number, blah, 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 blah. Oh, the plug is Sola Adesakin. I was like, so I can call Sola immediately. I've always known Sola as an international finance and investment coach. She's the leader and the CEO of Smart Stewards. Smart Stewards. I think that's the word that got me with her, is steward. She's showing you not just how to be financially stable and to blow, but to be a steward with your finances. Who is a steward? A steward serves. A steward brings about empowerment. A steward closes gaps that are open. So she is the CEO of the Smart Stewards Investment Group, and I'm sure it is morphing into other great things. And I know that many of us are going to be a part of Smart Stewards after today, because there will be no better person to hold our hands going on. She's an international wealth creation juggernaut, and she would help us attain global financial relevance. So how many of us are ready to receive my friend and my sister? I love you so much, Sola. Thank you. Everybody, please, let's welcome Sola Adesakin as she joins us this morning on day 30, our day of empowerment. Woo! Sola, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Good morning.
Good morning.
I am really excited to be here. I like to talk about finance, and then I like to talk about finance from the biblical point of view. So when Joyce called me a couple of days ago, first rule, I broke my rule because I had shut down for the year already. Not even personal engagements, talk less of, being a guest speaker at a forum like this. So I'm like, no, Joyce is not the person I would say no to, right? We have come a long way, and I'm really excited to be here. And I'm also excited at the amount of insights that I got studying Proverbs 30. I was up until about midnight just chewing on those things. And I'm like, what? Where have I been? How come I didn't get to know about Wiser since day one? Come on. Next year, we're digging in together by God's grace. Yeah, so I am really excited. I'm excited to be here, and I'm glad to share my wisdom and God's wisdom from Proverbs chapter 30. So let me know when to take it away.
I will take the back seat now. We will share the scriptures, whatever. Just tell us whatever. If you say, oh, it's New King James, NLT, we'll put it up on the screen. So you just focus on what you're doing. We'll do all the back end and all. I would leave the screen now. Thank you.
Love you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for having me, everybody. I already shared the link with members of my community, the YouTube link, so that they can be a part of it. So if you guys are there in the comments on YouTube, just say hello. Hello. All right. So Proverbs 30. Like I said, I teach personal finance. It just gives me joy. I qualified as a chartered accountant about 21 years ago. And for a better part of my career, I was clueless with my finances. I was earning so well, making so much, but, things were not adding up. We go to school, they teach us about how to become a lawyer, an accountant, a doctor, but nobody teaches us how to manage our finances. So I was struggling. At some point, I thought I had village people pursuing me. Back in those days, we didn't name them as village people, but we just, would say maybe some people are after my, all of those conditioning and beliefs, that mental beliefs that we all have. But over the years, I took some really, really stupid decisions. Permit me to say that in retrospect. But what I didn't realize was that it was all working out for my good. So I'm glad about those decisions that seemed stupid then, and I'm glad at where I am today. So, I from my experiences, from my expertise, from my knowledge, I teach personal finance, and it just gives me joy to see people succeeding with their finance. That's what gives me joy. I love to read people's testimonials. I love to see them say, you know what, I was once blind financially, but now I see. And I'm hoping that people on this call also would have that testimonial at the end of this session today. Proverbs is such an amazing book. So when Joyce said, okay, 38 Proverbs 30, I was like, do I really know? Do I really know, any finance related verses in that scripture? But when I started to study, I'm like, what? Where have I been all my life? Okay, so I'm going to start. I will be short juggling, between NLT and NKJV, New King James Version, but predominantly NLT. And I have it on my phone, so maybe when I mention some of those verses, you can bring them up. Now, I see a lot of quadrants here and there. So they're going to be sub gist, sub gist, within the chapters. I had to tell Joyce a few days ago, girl, you set me up with this Proverbs 30, but I'm really, really excited because, I have learned a few things myself, and I hope that you get excited, with the insight I'll be sharing. So verse 1 says, the sayings of Agor, son of Jacob. This is NLT, right? Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Contain this message. And it says, I am weary, O God. I am weary and worn out, O God. I am too stupid to be human, and I lack common sense. I have not mastered human wisdom, nor do I know the Holy One. And I read that. I'm like, how could the scriptures, how could the book of Proverbs, this particular chapter, how could they have started with these lines? Now, I read up about Agor, and, I think this was the only time it was mentioned in the Bible. Arguably, I did a bit of research, but we were told also from some of those commentaries that he was a contemporary of Solomon. Now, for somebody to have been featured alongside such an important, such a great man as Solomon, it showed that he had something inside of him. He showed that he was somebody that was loaded, because, there were so many wise men in the time of Solomon, but they were not featured. But Agor's words were worthy of being featured. But look at how Agor described himself. He said, I am weary, O God, I am weary and worn out, O God. I am too stupid to be human. Who says that? In my life, even those who don't have money, they still pride in their humanity, in their existence. Have you seen a hungry person fighting before? They tell you a hungry person is an angry person. They don't take, pardon my language, bullshit. Like, don't talk to me like that. Don't you know who I am? Even if he doesn't have money in his pocket. Now, this is a wise man, well, so to say, maybe at that point in time, he didn't realize it. And he says, I am too stupid to be human. Now, the first financial point I want to bring out from that thing is that, I'm a finance person, so I would relate all of these things to financial wisdom, if you pardon. I could talk about the spiritual and other, areas of life, but let me limit myself to financial wisdom here. I have realized from my experience and from the experience of people around me that our conditioning is one of the greatest limiting factors for building wealth. Now, I was earning about 500,000 15 years ago, but I was always broke. I was always agitated. Why? Because when I was growing up, what I grew up seeing and hearing was, there's no money, oh, there's no money, oh. If it finishes, it has finished, oh. This is God. Money doesn't go on trees, oh. And it was such, an avalanche of bad conditioning, bad. There's no money. You have to manage it. You have to do it. Don't do it. Don't spend it. And that created this fear about money in my mind. It created that conditioning of lack. Like, there's no money. There can't be money. So even when I was earning close to 500,000 14 years ago, I was still always afraid. I was still always afraid that there was no money. I didn't have responsibilities. I wasn't married then, but there was that innate fear. There's no money. I am such a stupid person to be human, and I lack common sense. Now, the first question is, What are your money beliefs? You cannot rise above your subconscious mindset. You cannot rise financially beyond and above the values that you have about money, the thoughts, the belief system. It's like an operating system. Now I'm using my laptop. If virus enters, you know how it is. You know how virus could be so exasperating. Thank God for some of these antiviruses and technology these days. But one virus you'll see you will see different funny signs and symbols, and you'll be like, this virus, one of us will kill one another. Now, the wrong money belief system that you have is the one contaminating your mind and your ability to build wealth. This guy says, I am too stupid. Who says that? I am too stupid to be human, created in the image of God, a contemporary of Solomon. When the Bible recorded that Solomon was, I mean, you already read the first 29, chapters of Proverbs. Sometimes you'll be like, what sort of wisdom is this? And this guy says, I lack common sense. Who says that? Now, some of us don't say those words, but those are the predominant thoughts in our minds about money. You say, they are looking for it. In Nigeria, only corrupt people can be wealthy. The things we say, sometimes we don't say them, but they're the things that we accommodate in our mind. In my family, let me just be okay. We will read on and see some things. Let me just be okay. Let me just be fine. It's not by force. I can't kill myself. I've struggled. Let me just hustle. Not hustle. Let me just hustle and make ends meet. Because of our conditioning. And yet we forget that we have been created in the image of God. It says in the beginning there was darkness, there was chaos. God said, let there be light. And he created man in his own image. What is wrong with us? Who is deceiving us? What sort of virus is virusing our own system? Not making us realize. This Proverbs 30, it will blow your mind. So the first thing is, it starts out the chapter acknowledging a non-existent foolishness. So my first challenge is, what are you saying about your life? What are you saying about your ability to build wealth? Who is deceiving you? Are you allowing the current condition of the economy, if you live in Nigeria, bother you? Everybody wants to relocate. I'm not anti-relocation. Oh, I love the good things of life. The Bible says my father is a governor among the nations. In fact, I'm an ambassador. I'm an ambassador to the US. I'm an ambassador, to Canada. I'm going to experience it sometime soon. So I am not anti-relocation. But what I am against is doing things because every other person is doing it. Say, they said Nigeria is going to collapse. Let's go, let's do it. You will suffer. I think, I can't remember. I mean, if you can find it out for me, either Isaiah 51 or 61, it says that you will feed on the treasures of the nations. And even in your own land, you will enjoy double prosperity. Have you ever seen that scripture? So when I'm in Nigeria, I'm feeding on the treasures of Canada, the treasures of the UK, the treasures of America, wherever, Poland, Switzerland. And it says, in my own land, in Nigeria, I will enjoy double prosperity. I think it's Isaiah. I can't remember 51 or 61. Somebody check it out for me. So what are we saying? Conditioning. And I like that this scripture is starting with this conditioning thing, because you cannot rise to a position or to a place of wealth above your conditioning about wealth. There's something called wealth consciousness. Most of us, we are chasing the footwork. Hey, what can I invest in? Oh, they said this is the latest investment. Oh, they said, what can I do? We are chasing the fruits when we are meant to be doing the root work, checking our subconscious, the status of our subconscious, looking into our minds and digging it out. Thank you. In their land, they shall possess double. If you look at, I think, NLT or another one, it says you will feed upon the treasures of nations. If you just tap that out on Google, it will tell you the exact version. And it says even in your own land, you will enjoy double prosperity. That particular version is what I love. What are your money beliefs? What are you saying? What are you thinking? The thoughts, the words, the action. See, all of that action, the things we do are a function of what we believe. The things we say are a function of what we believe. In Nigeria, let me tell you, COVID year last year, I made the most revenue. This year, I made more. And he said, was it the economy? I know the economy is bad. But hey, guys, are we in the same economy? I am in Nigeria, but I operate a divine economy. And I'm not trying to go all spiritual on you. I'm currently reading a book with my mastermind, and yeah, if you have also read what do you call this book now? Think as you grow rich. You see that even secular authors, they emphasize the importance of this mindset, this belief system, this subconscious, believing in what is right and what is appropriate and not looking down on yourself like Professor Agor, who says, I am very stupid to be human. So when they are saying, who are the wealthy people? Are you showing your face? So you're like, no, they know themselves. Oh, in Nigeria. What are some of those things you catch yourself saying? In Nigeria, there is only corrupt people. There's no good about Nigeria. And you're still here. And you're living here and you're confessing those things. They said, Nigeria, one day, God will open a door for me to relocate. If you are relocating because you are running away from problems, the problem is largely in you. When you get there, you will encounter the same thing. So it's not don't see. You can run away from external problems, fine. But if your problems are internal, a mindset thing, you can never run away from it until you decide and you choose to walk out of it and to say, you know what, my mind, this is you, me, this is me. I'm not here to dissect the tripartite nature of man, but I'm telling you, you are made up of will, your spirit, soul, and body. Your soul is made up of, your will, your feelings, your intellect, your emotions. But we think this, I don't have control over how I feel. No, you do. You say your feelings, hey, hold it there. When you are starting to think about negative things, you like nip it in the bud. Stop it. I talk to myself. My level of self-awareness is out of this world. When I do something wrong, when I talk to somebody anyhow, I catch myself instantly. Because I'm not saying my mind is me, everything, whatever happens, I don't have control. You have control over what you think about your finances and your ability to build wealth. I need to move on because this one, the thing is paining me. Like Agor, you, a whole Agor, saying I'm too stupid to be human. He says, I've not mastered human wisdom. What is stopping you from mastering financial wisdom? Do you see? Nor do I know the only one. Look at this man. I see his foolishness in the next verse. Let me quickly run through that and I will go on. He says he doesn't know the only one, but look at what he says. Verse 4. Who but God goes up to heaven and comes back down? Who holds the wind in his fist? Who wraps up the oceans in his cloak? Who has created the whole wild world? What is his name and his son's name? Tell me if you know. Every word of God proves through. He's a shield to all who come to him for protection. Do not hearken to his words, or he may rebuke you and expose you as a liar. Can you see this man? He just said, I'm stupid, I don't know God. So, how do you now know that he's a God who proves true, he's stupid? How? The foolishness of man, truly. It just shows you that, see, when I mentioned the tripartite nature of man, your spirit is connected with God. You have been formed in the image of God. You have the ability to think like God. You have the ability to create like God. Let me tell you something. See, in the very little things, we can so master self-awareness. We can so connect with our spirituality such that these things become an experiential way of living in our lives. Before you think about it, you have it. I have so many examples. Well, let me share what just happened yesterday. I am such a firm believer that, see, money is just a representation of value. Money is a tool like sunlight, like rain, I don't have to pray for rain, except for sometimes this Nigeria that they will say some people are holding rain. When it's time to rain, it rains. When this morning now, it's about past 6, the sun is going to come out very soon. Do you pray, God, today let the sun come out? It's a resource. I see money like that. So yesterday, I like to have plantain, sticks of plantain in my house. And yesterday, I realized that I hadn't bought in a while and it was finished. When guests come around, I like to, if I'm giving you rice, I don't want to just give you rice. It has to be plantain, just serve people well. So when my husband was going out, I said, you know what? I'm not going out today. Please, could you help me get a bunch? And he says, okay, 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 okay. And then he goes. 2 hours later, a friend of mine living around me calls me and says, Shola, 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 you calm down. What is it? Ah, somebody came to my house yes, 2 nights ago and brought a big bunch of unripe plantain. But by the time we woke up, they were all right. Do you want? I'm like, are you kidding? That's a way of life. Even before you ask, even before you need it. So when I was telling my husband to help me buy plantain, there was a provision of plantain around. And then my friend sent it was like an overload. That is my will. Because you see, my mind is so attuned to the fact that I am the best and the greatest creature of God. So my needs was where money cannot be a master. Francis Bacon says, money is such an excellent servant, but a bad leader. Some of us allow the fear of money, the fear of status, the fear. And God said we have been created in His image. You should have dominion over these things. I can count many examples. A few months ago, in my mind, I was just saying, you know what? All these beef things, we don't, in this house, we will not eat beef, except for the, smaller, my younger children. All of us say beef is not too good. It's turkey, turkey, turkey. I just want to do turkey this time around. I was just having that conversation, and a friend of mine had not had this conversation with his soul. Send me a box of turkey. Out of the blues. Just the day after I had that conversation. It's a way of life. And it starts from here. And then something happened. Somebody was coming from the UK. I said, this person just come and said, I'm coming to Nigeria. I said, bring turkey for me. She see the turkey, smoked turkey that she brought. That month and the month after, my freezer was full of turkey that I did not buy with my money. I'm just giving you like low-hanging examples to make you realize that, see, we have been made in the image of God. We can channel our thoughts in the right way. We can rise above limiting factors. We can rise above what is happening in Nigeria. We can decide that these things that we see do not limit us. World consciousness from the mind. Now, this man that says, I don't know you, I don't know God, is the one teaching our wisdom. And that's why it could be featured in Proverbs. He has the wisdom, but he's allowing the things that he sees around, or that he saw, the physical circumstances, make him yarn nonsense. I am too stupid to be human. You created the image of God. And then he starts to say, God, don't say rubbish about God. Don't you know God is so big? You know his song? Hey, that's why how some of us do. Sometimes we are awakened from our foolishness, from the wrong mindset. And then we begin to extol God. My father is up. I'm the son of God. I know who I am. I am who I said I am. Then you go back into your foolishness again. Foolish thinking. I don't have money. I'm so disadvantaged. I'm at a disadvantage because they did not give back to me in America, or because I do not have a second passport. We can see all those things. So we oscillate between positivity and negativity. I'll tell you how and why. Now, this man that just extolled God, that just says every word of God pushed through in verse 5. Then in verse 7, it starts again. Oh God, I beg 2 favors from you in my life. See, did you see? The person that just said, God, you are the greatest, you're able to do everything. I beg 2 favors from you, sir. Let me have them before I die. Let's see the favor he's begging for. First, help me never to tell a lie. Kai, is that prayer point? A whole God in heaven and earth, the creator of everything, the one who says, ask of me. I will give unto you the nations for your possessions and the ends of the earth for your inheritance. The one who created the whole heaven and earth. in 6 days and rested on the seventh day. The one who said, let there be light, and there was light. The one who says, ask, it shall be given, seek, you shall find, knock, and the door shall be opened. Professor Agor says, help me not to lie. What are you asking? What are your predominant thoughts? What are your prayer? If you look at your goals, I know we have been setting goals, Abby. Let's look at your goals for next year. Some of us, our goals are strictly financial. Income. Father, next year I want to make. They're good things, but I'm saying that there's more to life than those things. Father, let me make just 10 million next year. My income must be better. If your goals are not around income, impact, and influence, you are not ready for wealth, because it's not just about you. I started Smart Stewards after God gave me revelation from experience, and then I read Matthew 25 talking about the parable of the talents. We are custodians. There's nothing we have that is ours. We are just the pipeline. If a pipeline, water flows through, you say, water, this water must not flow. It must not go out. I want to retain it. Would more water come in, you will just be clogged up. Or you are carrying oil, you say, let me pipeline. Or you come, just stay here. It won't flow. You just be messing around and making a mistake. A pipeline is like something that allows people, stuff, water, oil, whatever it is, pass through it. And a pipeline cannot allow stuff pass through it and not be wet. If you see yourself as a custodian of God's blessings, sisters and brothers, ladies and gentlemen, you will be blessed. So, Uncle Agar, Professor Agar, Chairman Agar, rather, is praying to the Almighty God to help him not to lie. See the amount of, the person that just said God is the greatest. Say, God, let me not lie. Father, next year, just give me something that is small enough for me and my family. Just give me, someone are saying, just give me a 1-bedroom, self-contained, I'm okay. God is saying, Chai, you this girl, you this man that I created in my, is that all you can conceive? God, let me not lie. Is that a prayer point? You're wasting God's time. Help me never to tell a lie. I know from a conservative point of view, yes, now it's a good prayer point. Help me not to tell a lie. It's okay. But God doesn't have to help you not tell a lie. You decide not to tell a lie. There are some prayer points you are praying to God, and God is saying, go and do it yourself. Tell me about some other things. Help me not to tell a lie. If my son comes and says, Mommy, just help me. I don't want to be lying. I say, don't lie. Everything you need not to lie is in you. Don't lie. Go. Right. Okay. Zoom in. Right. 1 minute. You see. Now, let me go on. Are we together? Okay. Are we together? Now, the second thing he says, please, I need feedback. Are we okay? He says, second, I'm in verse 8. Thank you. Second, give me neither poverty nor riches. You see? I just said it. Just give me enough to satisfy my needs. Good prayer point, and that's what you will get. Some of us, this is the kind of prayer we pray. Father, I just give me 1 bedroom. Just give me a place to squat. That my business, no, I don't want to go global. Just help me, so I can make more money, so I can make a couple of change here. And he says, for if I grow rich, I may deny you and say, who is the Lord? And if I'm too poor, I may steal and thus insult God's holy name. This is the same man that lived during the time of Solomon. Can you see? Conditioning. See how that conditioning, how we started in that chapter, how it is affecting this man. This is the man that saw that Solomon was king. This is the man that saw Solomon's influence and affluence and wealth. This is the man that saw Solomon offer 1,000. How many cattle did Solomon offer to God? And he says, just give me enough. Well, maybe he felt that Solomon has, eventually backslid and he didn't want to backslide. But okay. But are there people who had money, who had wealth in the scriptures, who did not backslide? Yes, Abraham, the father of faith, Isaac, Jacob. They had their rough patches, but they finished well. David, even Solomon's father. In the time of David, there was one guy called Basilia. I can't remember how to pronounce it. He was very well. The Bible said he was very wealthy. So that you have money does not mean that you will not serve God. God is looking for kingdom financiers. God is looking for people he can give money to do this kingdom work together. So says, God, help me not to lie. Then don't give me neither poverty. Who prays that prayer? I hope you don't pray that prayer. There are some people who are poor who do not know God, who are, so obstinate. So it is not riches that make people obstinate. It's a conditioning thing, it's a mindset thing, it's a personality thing, it's not money. Money is not what makes people backslide. There are rich people, there are wealthy people that are doing God's work, they're doing amazing, they're living amazing lives. Are you still with me? And then he goes on dishing wisdom again. He says, never slander a worker to the employer, or the person will cost you and you will pay for it. I don't want to, I want to go into my real notes now. Right? Verse 7, I was going to say, my note says he was abdicating responsibility, right? To the things he could do himself. He says, God, next year, I want to be more intelligent. Give me more intelligence. God can't give you more intelligence. He has given everything that you need that can give you intelligence. Go and read. Attend wiser. Follow people who know. Don't pray to me for intelligence again. Abdicating responsibility. God, help me not to say the wrong things. Lack of definiteness of purpose. He was a contemporary of Solomon, yet not much was said about him. The only thing is that God wanted us to just see that, there was one professor, one person, one wise man called Agur, who didn't really realize what he had. Then he goes on, verse 10, to tell us about, some other wise stuff. And then he goes on in verse 11, some people curse their father and do not thank their mother. They appear in their own eyes, but they are filthy and unwashed. They look proudly around, casting disdainful glances. Yeah, professor, wise man. They have teeth like swords and fangs like knives. They devour the poor from the earth and the needy from among humanity. And it goes on and on and on again. And now I have come to, where the real meat of this teaching starts. And I hope you're learning something. What we have learned so far has been the power of conditioning. Some of us, we need to invest in our mind next year. You cannot see, if you are expecting different results, like that quotable quote says, I'm paraphrasing, you're doing the same thing and you're expecting different results. It is insanity. And the reason we do the same thing is because, you see, we have not moved, we have not shifted in our mindset. I've been poor, I've been broke. I was in the midst of money and I didn't know, and I was broke. For about 12 years, I was working with somebody who had the potential of changing my life forever. I was literally managing his portfolio, seeing him do amazing real estate stuff, and I just kept doing my thing. He believed so much in me. My wife's wedding was in the UK. He flew in. The wedding was Sunday evening. He flew in on a Saturday, came for the wedding, came back on Monday. That was how close we were. And this man was literally taking over the whole of Lagos. And I was just doing project accountant, finance manager. And I wasn't aware. And then 2 years ago, I'm like, how could I have been in the midst of abundance? How could I have not said, sir, as you're buying that one, you help me too, let me buy this one too. That was just that's what we do. Some of us are in the midst of abundance, but we don't know. We are not aware. Next year, your number one goal is to invest in your mind. Break out of limitations. Break out of things that limit. And it's not a matter of age. I wrote a book called The Real Profit. My dad became a multi-millionaire for the first time in his late 50s. He died earlier this year at 80, but he lived a good life. So it's not a matter of age. It's not a matter of background. Forget it. See, we come into this. There's so many things to say. We give birth to all babies the same way. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. You come with nothing. When you're going, you go with nothing. So it shows you that this money game, this world game, is something we play on earth. So I hope you have learned, about what there are books you can read about the power of positivity. If you want to make wealth, have wealth, build wealth, it starts from the mind. You must have a wealth consciousness. Again, I said earlier on, it's not about the footwork. Coach, what investments can I do? Where can we make money? Deal with it. Become wealthy in your mind, and it will become your reality. Now, let's go on. And I have one, two, three, four, five quadrants of fours, like four things in five places. And I'm going to share, and we'll start to wrap the conversation up. Now, I read of the message version, and it gave me apt subtitles for this next set of verses. And from verse 15, if you go to the Message Bible, it gives us Message Bible. The first title from verse, I think, 15, it says, "For insatiables." I will read the NLT, but I just wanted you to see. So if you on your phone or wherever, on your Bible, if you have the Message version, just read, because those are the four subtitles. So I have five of them. That's what I'll be sharing on over the next 20 minutes, and then we start to wrap this up. For insatiables. Now, this is the man that said, I don't have wisdom. I am too stupid to be human. You will see the wisdom that he dished out. Thank you. Thank you. If you look at your screen, the first set of fours calls them the four insatiables. Four insatiables. I'll go back to my NLT. I just wanted you to see that title. We'll come back to the second title. So verse 15 says, the leech has two suckers that cry out, more, more. There are three things that are never satisfied. No, four that never say enough. The grave, the barren womb, the thirsty desert, and the blazing fire. So this guy says, talking about wealth, talking about our desire to be wealthy. He says there are four insatiables, and we must not find ourselves in this category. Let me tell you, the world is changing. The future of money has changed. The dynamics of world have changed. The levels of desperation have changed. There are things that, social media also glamorizes all of these big things. So, when we were growing up, nobody was tensioning anybody. Your parents would always say, remember the daughter or the son of who you are. I was in Abeokuta a couple of days ago, and we were somewhere for Christmas, and we saw some young guys driving with these very exotic cars. Young guys. And my husband was like, they're all students. Most of them are students. So that he heard that some of those schools, those guys, they don't even live in the hostel anymore. Some of them live in hotels from day one till they leave school. You obviously know what they do now. Do we know? All of the lesson. Yesterday I was saying, why didn't they say Google? Why is it Yahoo self? Yahoo self, they need to go and wash their head, in Nigeria, for nice scams and all of those things. And it says, in your quest for building wealth, do not find yourself in this quadrant of four insatiables, or do not allow greed. So I'm sharing 5 G's. I love to play with words. And the first thing is the first G, greed. The travails of a greedy generation. And that's what these 4 things represent. It says the 4 insatiables. On your journey to building true wealth, you must avoid this number 1 quadrant. It says therefore they are not good things. Look at it. It says there are 3 things that are never satisfied. The grave. People go into the grave every day. And it's sometimes like, God, with all of the great things that you created, why should people die daily? Do you agree with me? It's not fallacy or anything. People are buried every day. As I'm speaking right now, across the world, 7 billion plus people, somebody just died. As I am speaking this very minute. The grave is never satisfied, always wanting more. He says they cry out more, 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 more. He says the barren womb. Now, he didn't just say a womb because, it says a barren womb. It is not the counsel of God for anybody to be barren. If you're watching this, you know anybody, I'm praying with you, joining my faith with you, that your story will change. You will bear your own children. He says this four insatiables. He says the thirsty desert. Ha! Have you ever been tested before? Have you ever found yourself? How many of you have gone to Dubai when Dubai is very hot? But you know what? They have done infrastructure. You enter from AC car to AC mall to AC hotel. So you don't feel it. But there are people who live closer to the desert, countries who are even closer to the desert, who do not even have those form of infrastructure. So I know what these four things are not good. And he says the blazing fire. Have you ever seen fire start out somewhere? The rate at which it picks. And he says, on our quest, or in our quest, in our sojourn for building wealth, these four things are greedy, wanting more. He says the first wisdom is do not get caught up in the desires of a greedy generation. We live in a greedy generation. That's why our corrupt, no, let me not say our corrupt, our leaders, unfortunately, they want to get all they can and all they get. They want to live. I mean, many years ago, when during Abacha, I had a family friend who was married to one close person up there. And they would say, these people, the way they keep cash, dollars, years ago. And they still do it. A few years ago, until the current president clamped on people, he said people were storing dollar. What do you want to do with it? What? One governor that died then, somebody was saying that the amount of money, I mean, it was public news, the amount of money he had, if he was spending 5 million daily, he would not exhaust it till he died. He's dead now, but we brought nothing into this world, we'll take nothing out. It's good to build wealth, it's good to have wealth, but use it for a good cause. Impact, influence, meet the needs of, live a good life, be a blessing to people. But do not be greedy. Do not be like these four insatiables, asking for more, can it? Some of us, you are saying, thank God, though, I don't do that. But some of us are orders. Is it orders? Like you hoard, HOARDERS. Some of us, we still have ampers. They are giving you ampers. The ampers, you keep them. And there are people, security men around you. That's greed. That's how greed starts. Some of us, we are blaming our governors. We are blaming our politicians. When you get there, you'll do worse. Because if you look around you now, the things you do are pointing in the direction of what they do. Tendencies, similar tendencies. Some of us will go to a party, you have collected one souvenir. Keep it. Bring another one. You go to a party, you take a plate for takeaway. This is because your friend is the one. Pack coolers in your bag, in your car. Take away. Right. One of the things I did this year was beyond buying stuff, I decluttered new things. You take. I feel lighter. He says the four insatiables. If you're a pipeline again, remember that scenario I painted. You must allow things to flow through you. That's stewardship. He said he gave one 5 talents, he gave another 2, he gave another 1. The one that had 5 went to work immediately. He made 5 more. The one that had 2 made 2 more. The one that had 1, just 1, went to hide it. And the master said, why? He said, I was afraid. He said, because you're a wicked man. Excuses. If you want to make wealth in the new year, trust me, you know that scripture that says, I'm sure you must have read it during the course of this month. He that giveth to the poor lends to the Lord. You cannot outgive God. Another goal that should go into your goal list for next year is giving at whatever level. Giving of your time, giving of your resource, no matter how small. It will come back to you. We have been called to a life of impact and influence and not just income. It's not just about me all the time. Me. You have 50 Ankaras that you have not sewn. And there are widows around you who cannot even afford anything for Christmas or the New Year. He says, be careful. Be careful so that you don't fall into the sin of the four insatiables. Don't fall for it. Never enough. I want more. Yeah, it's not enough. I just want more for me. Just more. Just more. Just more. Some of us with pride in the amount we have in our bank account. If it is small, you're unhappy. If it is much, you're happy. You just like seeing those figures. We all do. I'm not saying don't do that. But I'm saying that a man's life does not consist of the abundance of his possessions. You are not your possession. Money is a representation of value. Your bank account is a representation of your value. Your value cannot be determined by what you have. Some of us, we have intrinsic values. We are just waiting to happen. We are just waiting for the right connection, the right collaboration, the right wisdom. When you look around, yes. 500,000. Thank you, Lord. You don't want anything to touch that money. Because they give to somebody that lie. He says, these four insatiables, they are not good. Don't fall into the sin of greed. You must be able to nip things in bud and just talk to yourself. Give. Be a giver. Do you see? Now let's move on to the next four. So, message calls the next four the four mysteries. The first four were the four insatiables. Did you get that? The next four are the four mysteries. Remember this Professor Agor that says he doesn't have wisdom. Or look at the things we are dissecting. And he called himself too stupid to be human. Look at the things. He said four things. Three things actually amaze me, but four. So we have looked at the insatiables, and the G there is don't allow greed rule or run your life. Message Bible, the next four starts from verse 18. So verse 17, it talks about another wisdom. I don't want to go into that, how honoring your father and your mother can bring you prosperity. We'll come back to that later, maybe before I finish. The next four starts from 18. And the Message Bible titles it The Four Mysteries. Let me read it. He says, there are things that amaze me. No, four things that I don't understand. How an eagle glides through the sky. How a snake slithers on a rock. How a ship navigates the ocean. How a man loves a woman. I think the NKG says, how the way of a young man with a virgin. The Bible is solid. Now, this guy now talks about the four mysteries. This should interest you. He says, don't be victim of the four insatiables, but these four mysteries, take a cue from there. And if you look at these four things, you see them in the midst of challenges, thriving. He says, an eagle glides through the sky. I don't know. I don't think I have a phobia for heights, but I'm not adventurous. I've been seeing some Chinese videos where some people will be on something hooked to their back, and then somebody now pushes them on. I'm like, what are you looking for in this your life? I won't do it. Now they have controls, they have things holding them so that they don't fall. But look at an eagle. An eagle. An eagle glides through the sky like a vast. Sometimes I'm like, these birds, do they even know where they live? Maybe an eagle flies through my house now. Do you know that same eagle can fly? Maybe someday. I haven't done the research. I wish I read about it. Do you know the eagle can one day in a lifetime get to London? Right? Now, what I'm not sure of is, do they navigate their way back to their nest? I think so, because, we learned about the mother eagle taking care of her children in the nest, and then she releases them into the world, catches them again. But what the scripture is telling us is that, see, Like I started when I said when like I said when I started, we live in the midst of abundance. We will thrive in abundance, irrespective of how challenging and how inundating our circumstances are. These are animals. They are not created in the image of God. We are in the image of God, and we complain the most. He says the eagle glides fast away, and then the eagle finds its way. The eagle soars. The eagle moves. The eagle achieves its goals. It creates its nest, feeds its children, trains its children. When there's rain, the eagle does not have a house to go and hide in. The rain comes on the eagles. The sun, the everything, day and night. Animals suffer a lot. I'm not an animal, whatever advocate. But I'm just saying these guys, these animals, they still thrive. But we as human beings, we complain. He says, see how a snake slithers on the rock? I don't like snakes. I hate it. If I can never type snake on Google. When I was preparing, I checked a few other things, but this one, I don't even want to see the picture. But he says that, I think it was another version saying that, sliding through the rock, a snake has a very sensitive skin, a very fragile, apart from the venom and, the how poisonous it could be. But when you're going through the rock can cut you. A snake now, human being, you can wear boots and all of that. The snake just slides through and it still maneuvers its way rather. He says, have you seen how a ship navigates the ocean? Big ocean. When I'm going on Third Mainland Bridge, I see some of those are not ships, just boats. Like these guys. How do they do it? When I travel, maybe overseas, to go for a boat cruise, and it's like, God, you just wonder. Those who have gone on a cruise have not gone on a cruise. But next year, yes, it should be on my goal list if COVID would allow. COVID would allow, really. People are on a ship. We watch movies now. They're on the ship for 10 days, 12 days. Everything they need is there. And the ship is just going. Mighty ocean. Have you ever imagined the depth of an ocean? The ship is very small compared to the mightiness of an ocean. Then he says, how a man loves a woman. NKJV says, the way of a young man with a virgin. What are these four things saying? A virgin, permit me, I mean, I believe you're adults. When a woman, a virgin is having sex for the first time, we all know how painful it is, right? So I've read stories of women who, it wasn't easy. Somebody told me one story of a lady who, because of that, developed phobia for sex. Even after she had a child, she was still very afraid. But at the end of the day, the man will penetrate. Now, these four mysteries are showing us the power of perseverance, the power of pushing through in spite of whatever it is, seeing ourselves as capable. So, do you see how Ago, sort of grouped these things? We are in Nigeria. Nigeria is not good. Nigeria is not good. People are making money. Again, I'm not saying don't relocate, but I'm saying wherever you find yourself, take a cue from these animals. And then this man, eventually, the man will penetrate. It had to be done. The ship navigates. No, but sometimes there are storms. Sometimes the plane is flying. Maybe because there was no plane then, we would have used the example of a plane. There's turbulence. How many of you have flown before? You're like, hey, God, who sent me? One day I was flying and I was reading the book by Malcolm Gladwell. Is that his name? Or am I mixing it? The guy that wrote The Outliers and a couple of other books. I've read about 4 of his books. And in that particular book, the particular chapter I was reading when I boarded was about how plane works, how a plane could crash. I'm like, hey, wow, who has sent me? Some of us have been in, in a flight that really encountered great turbulences. So because of that, would you say you won't travel again? Some people have lost their lives, unfortunately. But these 4 mysteries are showing us the power of tenacity. Like in this Nigeria, we thrive. And that's what Joyce is doing with Wiser. Guys, get wiser. Guys, put in the work. Go and read the story of all of these wealthy, richest men in the world. You see how that well, I don't even know where the world will be in like 5 years. Now we are talking about metaverse, we are talking about NFT. 5 years ago, we are talking about do mutual funds, do stocks as an investor, investment coach. The things I counsel people now are different. They call something Bitcoin, something you don't even know, something you don't even see. They call it digital currency. And the Bitcoin world, the digital currency world has beat some of the traditional investments in terms of value. We're talking about NFTs, non-fungible assets. We're talking about so many things. And yet we are thriving. Nigeria is not good, we're pushing. If we will go spiritual, even the nation of Israel that sinned, God forgive them. I'm not sure Nigeria's sin is as much as Israel's sin. God forgive them. They will sin, He will send judges. They will sin, He will punish them, send judges. He send Deborah, send Joshua, send people. God have mercy on them. And in Nigeria, we have a lot of intercessors. I'm sure Nigeria is one of the countries that has the most number of spiritual people. So I don't think it's a spiritual problem. Arguably so, yes, our leaders might have been doing some things, but it's just a function of of the country, our leaders knowing how to navigate the times and seasons and maximize our resources. But I am talking to you as an individual next year. Don't keep your eye on the challenges. And in this my industry, they don't really do well. Oh yeah, go to another industry in which they are doing well, or make things work. You have the image of God. Take a cue from these animals. He says, I don't understand how they do it. Right? Come rain, come shine, come whatever. Propose. Be determined to excel. Now next year, you will hear about me. Now, I'm not saying hear about me on social media, but I will have testimonials about how I've been able, or yes, I've been able to build more wealth in phenomenal ways. You will hear my name in nations of the world, right? You will hear my name in government parastatals. You will hear my name in Africa. You will hear my name in America. You will hear my name in Canada. I am feeding on the treasures of nations and I'm enjoying double prosperity in my land. That's the spirit. In spite of what we say, whilst we are still in Nigeria, I am in Nigeria, but I tell people I'm a global citizen. I earn money from all around the world. Okay, so I may be physically here, but I'm a global citizen. And one of the good things that COVID showed us was, guys, don't say, hey, you can be in Nigeria. I mean, a few weeks ago, I spoke to a church in Canada. It was their evening service. It was 1:15 a.m. my time. It was evening their time, and they projected me live. Right? Yeah, or was it? Oh, no, they watched from the house. Yes. So they all watched from the house, but the entire church was watching. And they paid me honorarium. I've never been to Canada. I've never even, yes, I've never been to Canada. But look at what COVID has done. There was a program in Lagos I was supposed to attend. For whatever reason, I just couldn't make it because, I was praying for a program. And then they said, so I was going to say, I can't make it. And then they said, can you come online? Can you give your speech online? Why not? Then they projected me to the entire church and sent me pictures. I was in my living room, but the screen had me on. 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to go to the University of Ibadan for a program. I'd agreed, but I was just like, the week before, I was out of town. December 11th, I'll be out of town again. No way. So I told them, I said, I'm sorry. I know I accepted this invitation. I would not be able to physically come to Ibadan, but I am open to streaming in. That's what COVID has done for us. I said, yes, ma'am. Okay, how about we doing a pre-recorded video and then you coming in for the Q&A live? The blessings of COVID. Some of us here watching this, we are still blaming COVID almost 2 years after. In February or January itself, It'll be 2 years that COVID hit our world. We must start to see the blessings of COVID. Some of us that would always travel, before I would shop for my stuff from out of the country. Hey, sure, bag go. Whenever I traveled, I would buy those things. I haven't traveled in like 2 or 3 years now. Well, like maybe Dubai 2 years ago. I haven't been to the UK in 4 years. I haven't been to the US in 5 years. Are we not surviving? Are we not patronizing our local fashion designers? Are we not buying things? Are we not eating? Take a cue from the four things that irrespective of, and some people are watching this in the US, in the UK. I tell my friends in the UK, today somebody's traveling today, another person is traveling tomorrow. And I'm saying, please don't get to the UK and say, they said, it's mortgage or you cannot buy a house. All of those limiting factors. One person that I know just bought a house about 2 months ago, Nigerian, in the UK, cash. So it's not a matter of credit. Credit is our way. One of my mentors, Dave Ramsey in the US, talks about guys, don't do credit, don't do credit card. But some people say, no, you can't be overseas. You need it for your credit score. I agree. You now collect and you now begin to spend and spend and spend and spend. In this UK, if your children, if the school, even if you don't like the school, it has to be around the house. So what? Conditioning. You can't buy a house cash down in the UK. Where do you want to see the money? You know those conversations that we have? In the US, no. I hear that a lot. When you come to the US, no, you can't get a good job like that. You have to maybe buy, some wash plates. You do all of those menial jobs, and we agree. We accept those things with our chest. Now, I'm not saying that life may not take us that way, that route, but I'm saying that you must not accept it that that is the way of life. That is my destiny. If life says, okay, start with, something small or a menial job, that's fine. But you may be doing that menial job, but you're a bigger person inside. And God is just taking you through that, route. Some people have gone to Canada. I know somebody who was working with Standard Chartered in Canada. He got to, in Nigeria, got to Canada. His first job was a big senior role in another bank. And yes, some people say, no, when you get to Canada, you have to take any kind of job, maybe carer's job, or it's okay. If you continue to think like that, that's what you will get. So what am I saying? These guys, these animals, good or bad, they exhibit grace. Remember, I was talking about G's. The first one was avoid greed. The second one is embrace grief and graciousness. Be graceful. In spite of your circumstances, be grateful. Be tenacious. Be consistent. Show up daily, convenient or not. I was by my computer, everybody had gone to sleep, just reading through these verses and just talking to myself like, Joyce, thank you. I'm learning a lot even from these verses myself. So number 2G will be a combination of grit and graciousness. In spite of your difficult situations, make up your mind to thrive and go for it. I need to move fast now. Now let's look at the third set of C's, of the third fours. There are 5 of them, like I said. We talked about the 4 insatiables, and we said the G for that is avoid greed. We talked about the 4 mysteries, and we said the G for that is embrace grit and graciousness. Now the next set of 4, message calls it the 4 intolerables, and it starts from verse 21. Verse 21. In verse 20, he gave us another tidbit. Adultery, things about life wisdom. Don't dishonor your parents. Adulterers, don't do adultery. Don't. Then it comes back to the teaching. He says, verse 21, message version titles is 4 intolerables. But verse 21 says there are 3 things that make the heart tremble. No, 4 he cannot endure. This is the same guy that says, I am stupid, I don't know anything. Look at the wisdom is dishing. Are you with me? He says there are three things that make the heart tremble. No, four things he cannot endure. He says a slave who becomes a king, an overbearing fool who prospers, a bitter woman who finally gets a husband, and a servant girl who supplants a mistress. These are things we see. But he says, don't be like them. These things exist. These things happen all the time. In fact, let me not go into what I was just going to say something about one one king, one monarch in Nigeria that we all, heard about some stories online. I don't want to mention names, and they said there was once someone, another person, another queen that was trying to become more popular, and she leveraged social media, you know, so many stories, right? People do stuff to become popular, to make money, to do all of that, but I call them gainless pursuits. So avoid gainless pursuits. Sometimes they look like this is the way everybody is doing it. Let's do it like that. I love Mrs. Awoshika a lot. As far back as when I've been following her, like from behind, like I didn't know, I didn't have any close contact. Her story had always been when I started my business in my 20s, she's going to be 60 soon, that maybe next year or so. Agreeably, I made up my mind about two things: not to collect bribes and not to ever sleep with a man. And if you have been following her story, in fact, when she was saying, I knew because I was consulting for somebody who owned some shares in our company. And the person always said, this girl, she a girl, lady, she will not, this company could have grown bigger or if she did this or did that. And she was saying, no, gainless pursuits. They're tempting. They're tempting. It's different from greed. Greed wants more. But gainless pursuits are those apples, that apple that the serpent dangles in your face every day. You go on social media, you see somebody that you went to school together, showing off a car, a new house. This person bought a house for their mother. The other person did this. Somebody shows themselves in a plane, 6 countries in 1 week. All of those things that we see. Like, wow, what are they doing? It says slaves become king. Yeah. They manipulate their way into becoming a king. An overbearing fool who prospers. A bitter woman. If you read that, let me see if I can read message version quickly. To just he says he says 3 things are too much for even the earth to bear. Yeah. 4 things shake its foundations. When the janitor becomes the boss. Imagine the janitor in your office. One day something happens, there's like a coup, then becomes a boss. So let me make you laugh a bit. I am not usually caught in the frenzy of trending movies. I watch at my time when I want to. So I just started watching Money Heist last week. Imagine. So when people are saying Money Heist, I won't watch it. And so I was looking at it and I'm like, yes, I'm almost finishing. I think I'm on season 4. I started just last year. So that's how I am. When I eventually decide to watch, I watch it. So I'm like, at some point, we found ourselves falling in love, right, with the guys, with the robbers, Tokyo, Denver, the professor. When we first time like this bad professor, then we started to like him. Then the professor cornered the inspector. The inspector fell in love. How many of you have watched it? And then we started to sort of glamorize and applaud them, wishing that none of them died. In fact, when Moscow died, Moscow, Denver's dad, I shed a tear. I'm like, yekwa. You know what? The things that the world glamorizes. So I was talking with a friend, I was with a friend's house and with now, and the guy said, yeah, nice movie, but what's the whole essence of the movie? Trying to teach us that, okay, money heist is good. And then it's always like, I hope this person didn't die. Hey, did they succeed? The first one was nice. Hey, yeah, they succeeded. Gainless pursuits. That's what the narrative the world is pushing now. Make it anyhow. Make the money anyhow. Make it anyhow. It really doesn't matter. We glamorize the wrong things. We accept the wrong things. You know, ah, in my own time when I was growing up in church, pardon me, he says somebody did something. They, as a worker in church, they fire you. But this, they say it doesn't matter now. You on social media, I read a thread recently. You can cohabit. It's good. You should cohabit before you marry, for 1 year at least. And that tweet had 8,000 likes. That's what the world has become. And even we as Christians, we find ourselves, yes, why not? Yes, cohabit now. Tell the whole thing. Be sure you are compatible. Gainless pursuit. He says, when the janitor becomes the boss, when a fool gets rich, when a prostitute is voted woman of the year. This message Bible is crazy. He says a prostitute is voted woman of the year. Now, we are not saying these people are people. We love people, but I'm reading Proverbs. I'm teaching, so I may I may be hitting some nerves, but I'm here. Whilst I'm here, Sha, until Joyce mutes my phone, I am still here. And then he says, when a girlfriend replaces a faithful wife, gainless pursuits. They are being dangled to our faces. Since a prostitute is voted woman of the year, and people are saying, yes. For a girlfriend, you know that this man is gainfully married. The girlfriend might say, yeah, such is life now. Such is life. It really doesn't matter. If you want to build true wealth, avoid gainless pursuits. It says avoid gainless pursuits. At the end of the day, they seem right. They seem right. But he says, there's a way that seemeth right to a man, but the end of it is destruction. We are reading Proverbs so that we can be what? We can be wiser. He says, the Bible says that be gentle as a dove, but be wise as a serpent. Yes, you are in the world, but you are not of the world. If you are reading the scriptures, getting wisdom from the scriptures, it is because we want to do things God's way. Sometimes it is slower, like Mr. Awushika, who says, I will never pay a bribe, and I will never sleep with a man. Over her career spanning 30 years, has she succeeded or not? Is she doing well or not? Yes, the first bank thing might have happened, but just like the 4 mysteries that we read, everybody has challenges. We hit rock patches, but we must keep moving and watch out for her. There are other opportunities that have opened up, and there will be other opportunities that will open up for her. Gainless pursuits, they look so tempting in the immediate, but in the long run, they are just gainless pursuits. Karma. The person who knows that the man is married and you go and the person is still married, he's not divorced too. He's not a widower. And then you force your way into his life and you scatter the whole system of that marriage. He will catch up with you. The universe is governed by laws. A janitor who poisons some of these movies we watch, there are things that happen in real life. Somebody does something to topple another person to become this, to become that. It will come back. I'm remembering a movie, as I swear, I don't want to mention names, but I'm just thinking about this is what happened. They said this person snatched this person's husband. Now the marriage is all over. Gainless pursuits. Unprofitable things. They don't bring advantage, but because the world sees them as glamorous, we go for them. Don't do it. The law of sowing and reaping. It will come back. Don't sow what you don't want to harvest. If you want to build wealth, do it the right way. Take your time. It might be slow, but you will get there. Well, recently, Joyce and I were in Benin in April, and she said some things that I can't remember now, quite personal. And she said, this is what I have determined to do. I'm like, yes, that's it. personal resolve, personal resolution. We must have values. On this one thing, we must have, but if not, there's temptation every day. I'm an investment coach. The temptations are there. You want to cut corners, at the detriment of other people's, what do you call it? Profit. Because you have access, because you can leverage, you use people just to get to the top. Avoid gainless pursuit. Let's go to the next set of fours. I have just two more. The next set, Message Bible calls it the four small wonders. Thank you. Four small wonders. Let me read about them from here. I'll go back to my NLT. He says, verse 24, there are four things on earth that are small but unusually wise. So you see the dynamics of these four things. The four insatiables, greed, avoid it. Avoid them. The four mysteries, the ego, they be like them. Then the next one, negative, the four intolerables, avoid them. We are talking about gainless pursuits. Then we move to the next four positive things, the small wonders, embrace them. He says there are four things on earth that are small but unusually wise. Ants. They aren't strong, but they store up food all summer. Now, this is talking about, the crux of this conversation, building wealth. I tell people there are three things to do to money: make it, manage it, multiply it. It's not just about making money. You must learn to manage money. You must learn to multiply money. Take a cue from these animals. You know an ant now, if you press, just do like, you don't even need to press him on. Just take an ant, put it in between your two fingers. Gone, dead. But he says they store up food all summer in preparation for winter. In preparation for winter. Some of us, we eat with our 10 fingers. This is Christmas. You only live once, YOLO. All your money for January. And that's why they will say January is the longest month. It's your conditioning. Because you have spent everything. The one you shouldn't spend. Some people, the savings that they have saved from the beginning of the year, they just lose control. Well, you only live once. You know all of those slogans. What's that song that they recently started to sing? Is it a song or like a motivational line? You see, I see it a lot on people's stories. They'll say that anything where I want they do now. It's like in broken English. I just want anything where I want they do now. I just want to enjoy myself, or something like that. And I'm like, echo enjoyment. You only live once. He says, take a cue. Don't use your 10 fingers. The tap, I teach the dynamics of manage money and multiply money using the tap. If you live in Lagos, Nigeria sometimes, and you're supplied by government water, the water doesn't flow all the time. So let's say water hasn't flowed in like 2 weeks and it starts to flow. You not just leave the tap running. No, you put container. So the water flowing is making money. You put in a bucket is managing it. Then when the first bucket is full, do you close the tap? No, you pour from one bucket to another. That's multiplying. Common sense. Because water doesn't flow all the time. Even the richest men. That's why you see it is Jeff Bezos today. It is Elon Musk tomorrow. Life is, do you know this earth we're living in is revolving? It looks like we're stable, but earth is revolving on its axis. Nothing is stable. There are times your income will flow well. There are times you have to just rely on what you have kept, the water you have kept aside. And the water you have kept aside, you don't have to go and take from the drum, which is your investment. You take from your low-hanging emergency fund. You take from the bucket that is still under the tap, even though the tap is not flowing. Some of us, we don't have that one. Anything happens, the small investment you have liquidated it. No emergency funds, nothing. If you want to succeed with your finances, you must learn to make money, first of all. You must learn to manage. You must learn to multiply. Making money, there's no time. I really want to finish in the next 15 minutes. Read the cash flow quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki. He says you can make money from 4 quadrants: as an employee, self-employed, a business owner, and an investor. When people say multiple streams of income, they say, hey, jack of all trades, master of none. Okay? Multiple streams of income are not good, Abby. But you have multiple streams, multiple outlets of expenses. And expenses are sacrosanct. A new baby is spending money. A dead man self is spending money. Won't they wash him up? Won't they put him in coffin? Won't they pay for grave? He says there are some things that are very sacrosanct. Taxes, debt, bills. Your landlord won't say, you have lived here for like 5 years. This next year, don't pay rent because you have been a good guy. Your children's school, they won't say, your first 3 children came to this school. This last one, don't pay. Bills are sacrosanct. You must learn to manage your money. And when we say manage, we are not saying manage in the word of, be, what's the word now? There's that word you don't want to spend no. You're saying be wise enough to channel your expenses in the right direction. Do you see? The skills for making money, so I was saying read the cash flow quadrant. The skills for making money are different. Some people know how to make money, they don't know how to manage. They just spend when they are broke. How many of you remember Rashidi Yakini of blessed memory? I used to like football, so I was following them. When he died about 5 or 6 years ago, he died depressed in Ibadan. The man that scored the first goal for us. What happened with his money? And yet we still have Okocha still showing up as an ambassador for this company, still running commentary during World Cup. People like to associate with people who have money. Okocha arguably knew how to manage because it's not a function of how well he speaks or how handsome he is. He says the rich has many friends. So managing money is you knowing how to budget, how to save, how to plan your finances. I don't want to go into the nitty-gritty of that. And then multiplying money is making your money work for you. You can be in Nigeria, your money is in Canada, is in US stocks, is in, different things. You can be in America, and that's what we do at the Smart Investment Club. We're bridging the gap. Those overseas, we link them with opportunities at home. Those at home, we link them with opportunities overseas. And like I said, the future of money has changed. You must understand that this money thing, money loves motion. They call money currency, derived from the word current. Money flows. Money flows. The amount of money that flows on a daily basis is mind-blowing. Trillions around the world. But one thing will shock you. Money flows from one person to another. Wealth creation and redistribution happens every day. So on a daily basis, money is either coming to you or money is flowing to you, out from you. You buy shares at, say, 50 naira or $50, and because the price is dipping, you sell. The person who buys has bought off your gain from you. That's how wealth exchange happens. Typical example. Do you see? So he says, take a cue from ants. Ants are not strong, but all summer, they store food. He says, Ikes, russes, which are called rock badgers, they aren't powerful. I'm in verse 26. But they make their homes among the rocks. Verse 27 says, locusts, they have no king, but they march in formation. Have you ever, what do they call locusts in Yoruba? Yeah, I want to remember this. Ijalo, yes, Ijalo. Have you ever walked into a stretch of or an army of locusts? If one of them enters into your pants or your trouser, okay. Was it Shina Peters that sang a song? Something like Ijalo Ole Washo Koto. Like when it beats you, it stings badly. They're not strong. If you catch one of them, you can easily crush it. And it says, Verse 28, lizards. They are easy to catch, but they are found even in king's palaces. Another version says gecko. Then another version says spider. You know how fragile? In fact, I see spider web. I'm sorry to maybe I've not even seen a spider before. Very small. But you haven't been to Buckingham Palace. There's a wall gecko there. There's a spider there. What do these things, four things have in common? My next G, guided collaboration. Remember, I'm talking about G's. The ants, power of many. There's that quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with others. 2022 is the year for guided collaboration. On my Instagram page, 2 days ago, I shared a post. I wrote a newsletter to members of my Medicine Club, and I said, people reply with tips on how we can navigate next year. Somebody wrote a beautiful post, replied to me on collaboration. So I munched it out nicely and I put it on my Instagram post. Go and read it. And I said, COVID hit in 2020. The impact hit our economies in 2021. 2022 is the time to rebuild. But it's not a year to say, I am a very private person. I get hurt so easily. You are deceiving yourself. It says, four unusual wonders, four small wonders. These guys, see what they do? Ants. Where is the tummy into which they eat the food, sir? What do ants eat? What do they eat? But the Bible says they store food all summer. Rock badgers, they aren't powerful, but they make their homes amongst the rock. Locusts have no king, but they match information like left, right. Who is coordinating them? Who is their leader? Guided collaboration. You may be currently small in your own eye, but leverage people. Next year is the year to leverage people. Investment opportunities, business opportunities, growth. What is leverage? Leverage is you in a mutually beneficial way. Don't be parasitic. Leveraging, making use of other people's advantage for a mutual advantage. My passion is personal finance, but I'm a chartered accountant. I qualified 21 years ago. And I pay heavily annually for my subscriptions. I have a partnership with a friend who is a chartered accountant, and we execute jobs together. So what you know about me is that she's a personal finance coach, but I have a business bringing in money to me on a monthly basis. Partnership. Understand leverage. Look around you. Take a cue from these guys. They build, they work together, they match information. Next year, join an investment club. I invite you to join our own investment club, the Smart Investment Club. Form your own small groups. Have an accountability partner. I have a mastermind too, beyond the investment club. 35 people. Premium. Pushing them. What I do, you do. At the investment club, we're about 750. I can't show everybody because we are not at the same level in terms of risk and all of those things. But look for like-minded people. Push yourself. Teamwork. Guided collaboration. And the final one, are you enjoying this? Are you learning something? Verse 29. It says there are three things that walk with stately stride. The topic or the title that the Message Bible gives it is the four dignitaries. Four dignitaries. Can you see the wisdom in this chapter? Joyce, did you see that you set me up? He says, there are three things that walk with stately stride. You know how it works? No, four that strut about. What's wrong with you? He says, verse 30, the lion, king of animals, who wouldn't turn aside for anything. The strutting rooster, the male goat, and a king as he leads his army. This depicts strength. Let me see if I can quickly read this in message as well. Message version. It says there are three solemn signatories, four that are impressive in their bearing. A lion, king of the beasts, deferring to no one, a rooster, proud and strutting, a billy goat, a head of state in stately procession. Let me take you back to all the four. The first one, don't, greed. The second one, four mysteries, greed, right? The third one, four intolerables, gainless opportunities, avoid them. The fourth one is the four wonders, what I call guided collaboration. The last one, four dignitaries, is what I call grandiosity. And it ties back to where I started about the mindset. Now, these four dignitaries that we see, they depict strength, they depict power. The lion, a rooster, proud and strutting. Recently, I saw an ostrich for the first time. Don't blame me. I just saw an ostrich for the first time in my life. I don't like animals. I don't go to zoo. So I packed somewhere. I went to see a friend. And I saw beautiful. I took a picture. Like this. In its glamour and grandiosity. Then a male goat. Yay. How many of you know a male goat? Wait, so is it the male goat that when you are cooking it, it takes forever? Is it the female? I don't even know. Like they are stubborn in life, they are stubborn in death, they are stubborn in the pot. I don't know if it's a male or female goat that it takes forever, but you see a male goat, the pride, and then a king as he leads his army, like the head of state in a stately procession. If you watch American handover programs, well, you like to be president. Now we welcome, especially when they inaugurated President Obama. Gosh, I can never forget 2008. I've watched all of their inaugurations thereafter. I'm just glued. The glamour, the glitz, the grandiosity. It says, take a cue from this as well. And this is not a function of what you have. What does a rooster have? Chicken. But it says it struts like, I know who God says I am, what He says I am, where He says I am, or whatever. I know who God says I am. I'm walking in power. I'm walking in miracles. I live a life of favor. I know. Do you know who you are? Remember where I started from? It's about having the mindset. Your life will navigate or will gravitate in the direction of your predominant thoughts. What you think about yourself is where you're headed. Where you are today is where you were in your mind years ago. So if you want to see a better future, you've got to embrace it. You've got to see it. You've got to become a better person in your mind. You've got to embrace grandiosity. And we're not saying the glamour that all of this social media paparazzi that we do. You go to give, you put yourself in a private jet and you're doing like this. Those things are good though, don't get me wrong. But make sure you're first of all wealthy and big on the inside. And I tidy up my notes and everything with this. I teach financial literacy and I teach the three aspects of financial literacy. Number one, mindset. Number two, knowledge set. Number three, skill sets. And these are the things you should aspire to acquire next year. The right mindset. The right mindset. I am rich. If you have to write out affirmations, if you have to put it on sticker notes around your house, please do. You cannot rise above what you think, what you see. And it is not a function of physical location. Leverage the power of imagination. I'm in Nigeria, but you know what? I dream big. Like I've traveled to America in like 5 years, but sometimes in my mind, I just see myself in America. What are we doing? Okay, this is where I'm going. Use your imagination. It is free now. Your life gravitates in the direction of your predominant thoughts. Those things that you fear, they happen. Where I am today is a function of what I was thinking about. I am, no, it's hard. I win battles in my mind easily. I literally visualize things in my mind and they become my reality. I have my challenges. My life is not perfect. But one of my greatest strengths, once I visualize it, it happens. I may hit a brick wall, we may have challenges, but once I am able to conceive a way out, it might take time, but it will happen. So when I'm fasting and praying, I'm doing it, to achieve. I'm not, my thoughts are not here, then my fasting and prayer are here. They like sort of align. So I am leveraging spiritual tools, I'm leveraging physical tools, I'm leveraging emotional tools. I am aligning and harmonizing all of them for the best result. It starts with your mindset. Change your mindset for next year. I know John probably have talked to us about books to read, how you should think. Go get them, read, research, get the knowledge for financial freedom. So we have said all of these things. You must read books about wealth. In my email, I said I shared a couple of books: Psychology of Money, Cash Flow Quadrants. Let me see if I can see a few of them. If anybody is in my club, you're watching this, please let me share them. Okay, 1 minute. I will, before I go, I will write them out. Invest in your mind, invest in books. So a few books I said you can read: Psychology of Money by Morgan Housel, Your Money or Your Life by Vicky Robin, Cash Flow Quadrant, Robert Kiyosaki, Simple Path to Wealth, J.L. Collins, Do the Work, Stephen Pressfield. So next year, you're investing in personal development, professional development, personal performance, and cross-disciplinary agility. Again, there's no time to talk about that, but it is wisdom. Don't say, I read law, I just want to sit with law. You must become an agile worker. I build websites. I design websites. I do my graphic. I can't be waiting for someone. Let me correct it. It takes 1 year. Lie. I record my videos. Here you can see. I have all the tools. You must become a cross-disciplinary, agile person. You must be able to function. You must, step up your tech game. You say, I don't know. I don't have I don't like tech. I don't like internet. You're thinking internet is just social media. You just see people just taking up your roles. People would lose more jobs. So you must look at where, the seasons are navigating to what they are pointing to. You've been hearing NFT, you've been hearing this as it's I know it's evil, it's 666. Continue. Invest in your personal investment, right? Learn how to make, manage, and multiply money, and just keep learning, right? Scripture, let me just read through. Since I started with Professor Agor, now in verse 32, he says, if you have been a fool by being proud of plotting evil, cover your mouth in shame. As the beating of cream yields butter, and striking the nose causes bleeding, so stirring up anger causes quarrels. This is the person that said he didn't have wisdom. Can you see the amount of wisdom that we dissected? And he said, I am too stupid to be human. When we get to heaven, I'm going to look for him and say, sir, don't do like that again. God was merciful enough to have featured this writing of yours in Proverbs, but don't ever in your life.
Don't try us.
Thank you so much, guys, for having me.
Thank you so much, Sola. Oh, thank you. I was just like, wow. What a grandiosity of collaboration this morning. I don't believe in chance. I don't believe in, no, not chance. I don't believe in coincidence. I believe that everything is orchestrated. And when I found out that the Jews have no word for coincidence because they don't believe in coincidence, okay, hey, this is the thing I've been saying, that you had been ordained to be here on 30th of December. I just didn't know. I didn't knew. God had to bring Patrick to start off something that John built on, and just about, but it's Shola now. And I'm like, what? And I remember it was about this time, was that 4 years ago, 3 years ago that we met? 2018 or
Right,
2017, you
right,
know? And
right.
you've been so consistent at this. And I'm amazed at the amount of insights that even we all have been able to get from out of this. Thank you so much. So we have two questions for you. Allow us juice out of you. When John was here, we were here for 3 hours, but I promise you, we won't keep you 3 hours. I promise. But we will try. So one question number one is for those who are interested in earning foreign currency from legit foreign businesses that they may not be involved in day to day. Intellectual business like having stock in the New York Stock Exchange. Where do we start? What do we do?
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Good question. Um, uh, I, I don't even know because I could go on and on and on, but let me try and just unpack it in the simplest way I can. So part of what I was saying about, the future of money is that traditional investments are giving way to more contemporary investments leveraging technology. Right now, as I speak, from anywhere you can buy stocks on the US stock exchange from your phone as I'm speaking. So a few years ago, I wanted to buy stocks, in America, and I saw an app, stockpile. And I signed up. They said because I didn't have a social security number, I couldn't buy it. I'm like, okay. And then I wanted to use my son's credentials, but because they were minor, they bounced me. I'm like, this US stock, I would buy it one day. And what has happened in the last 1 or 2 years, we have seen apps in Nigeria. Do your due diligence, but I'll mention names, no affiliations, Bamboo, Trove, Passfolio, with which you can buy shares just on your phone.
From your phone.
No need for social security, anything. And these stocks are listed on New York Stock Exchange, right? So that is a very low hanging fruit. But the beautiful thing again is that you there's now the concept of fractional shares. One stock of Amazon, as last time I checked, was $3,400 and something dollars. How many of us can afford $3,000? We have it, but we have not experienced it. We are coming to experience it. But you can start by buying $10 worth, $20 worth, $30 worth. So the concept of fractional shares, and the beautiful thing, even if you buy $10 worth, your name goes into the registry of the company. When there's an annual general meeting, you get an email. You have the right to vote, like somebody who has 100,000, 200,000, 2 million. The beauty of technology. So, what I tell people is, especially those in Nigeria, please, you must hedge against currency risks. It's not enough to be I'm doing mutual funds in Naira. You must also look at USD denominated opportunities, foreign denominated opportunities. One of it is this stock. Stock equity is one asset class. There are other asset classes. So you can buy each time you have an extra money. Buy it on any of those platforms that I mentioned. Keep topping up. Keep topping up. The day of $100. So somebody came to deliver something yesterday, one of my club members 2 days ago. Each time she comes, she knows how to just, like Joyce said, juice me. Coach, I just wanted to quickly show you. Quickly show. We are there 30 minutes. Helping her. Oh yeah, buy this one. Oh yeah, buy that one. Now, what influences the kind of shares or stocks you should buy? My own personal policy, I'm an accountant. I look at the financials, but at the basic level, if I use you, I buy you. I've been using an iPhone, different iPhones for 4 years. I have no 6 years. I have Apple stock. I buy either I have $50, $100, 500, just buy.
If I
I
use
use
you, I
Facebook
buy
for my.
you. Please,
I
please
use you.
note that as a rule of thumb. If I use you, I buy
I
you.
buy you. My personal philosophy. I
Yes.
use Facebook for adverts. Facebook is chopping my money. I buy you. I eat your dividend. Do you see? I use Google. Those are just giving you a cue about some of the stocks that I own. Amazon. When I'm overseas, always ordering on Amazon, paying shipping. I buy you. You see, but beyond that, of course, you have to also read up the fundamentals and the financials to be sure it's a good stock. And then, of course, tech stocks are here for the long term, right? So look at it, what is happening, you know, do your own research. What stocks can I buy? There are index funds as well and ETFs. Apart from buying individual stocks, you can buy ETF. So an ETF or an index fund is tracking the performance of a sector. For example, in America, you have what you call the S&P 500, the top 500
Right.
companies. I can't remember the what they use in classifying them as the top five. Just I think in term of valuation or what have you. Thank you, darling. Good morning. I'm on a call. I'll see you soon. That's my son beating me Yoruba. And so index fund tracks the top 500 companies. In that 500 companies, you have different sectors: pharmaceutical, tech, health, and all of those things. So when you buy an index tracking the top 500 countries, that means you know what you are indirectly invested. So when one sector is down, the other sector is juicy. So it's good to buy individual stocks, but when individual stocks are not doing well, index funds are likely to be stable. Do you see? So buying US stock from Nigeria or from anywhere is easy. Take your phone, download that app that I said. In my club, we have some sort of arrangements with them whereby the commission and the charges for buying are reduced if you're a member of our club. But you can just go to their site or go download the app and start to buy today, today, today. I'm challenging everybody on this call. If you do not have US stocks, buy today. $10 stock is about 5,750. Buy Amazon, buy Facebook, buy Apple, buy research. All of those, healthcare, the ones doing what I don't want to mention names. This is by no means financial advisory. We're just talking. So that's how
We're
to buy
just
it.
talking.
Right. Now, other US denominated funds or investments that you can do in Nigeria, there's what you call the dollar mutual fund. The banks that offer the funds. Stanbic IBTC has a dollar mutual fund that you can start with a minimum of $1,000, and then you can build on it in multiples of $500. Walk into any of the branches and get it started, right? So you can buy stocks in USD. You can buy mutual funds. I know some of these fintech platforms also do savings in dollars. I don't know if they still do it, but because the economy has been quite funny with a lot of policies from the regulatory bodies, it's not been exactly smooth. But US stocks, boom. Now, because I know there are people who are watching this from outside of the country, in my country right now, digital currency, cryptocurrency are banned. But hey, if you live outside of Nigeria, read up about, even if you live in Nigeria, read up about it. Read up about these things. So, they say we should not do it. I don't even understand. I never even understand. I don't even have a knack for it. You're deceiving yourself. Because when other countries have gone far and they eventually leave the ban, you now start to go and read. By then, people are billionaires already. So I tell people, read up.
Okay.
So I'm here live. I'm not saying go and buy, but I am saying wisdom is profitable to direct. Read up.
Correct.
What
Yes.
other asset class? So in my club, we do angel investing. We
Okay.
partner with syndicates and collectives, and we invest in startup businesses. Example, when Paystack was acquired by Stripe,
Sorry.
I personally know some initial investors. So when Stripe acquired them for $200 million. Those investors were paid off. So angel investing, we do that as well. We've invested in some companies across Africa, in one company in the US, startup. There are a lot of opportunities. Do you see? You
Yes.
know, so I suggest these days in Nigeria do more of USD denominated funds. But again, it's a function of your goals. For your short to mid-term goals, you might need the money in naira, but long-term goals, an investment is for the long goal. You're not investing. You're saying after 3 months, I want to collect my money. I'm not investing again. No, you must be
That's
ready to
that's that's
see.
short-sighted now.
Yes, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. Somebody was saying when he got to America in 1997, Amazon was $2. If you had bought only 1,000, you imagine what it would be now, right? 7 digits. And Warren Buffett's company stock is currently $420,000 each, but you can buy fractionally. I own part of it. $100, 200. You are investor is investor. As long as you invest your money, you have the right to become an investor. So I hope I answered that question.
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. So there is still the before I say that, everyone, please find Smart Investment Club and add that to your goals. I just went to see that it's about 56,000, 50,000,
50.
850.
And
So come
it's
51,000.
becoming 100,000. Yeah, per annum. From
And it will
January
soon
1st,
be
$100,000. Or
January
100,000
1st.
naira.
That's in 2 days.
Yes, 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 yes.
Look, so you have today and tomorrow to join the Smart Investment Club at 51,000 naira only. Remember, we've been talking about it all wiser long. We can't make the same decisions of last year and expect different results. For us to fly, we need to be amongst high flyers. So go where it's happening, gather around where eagles are. Now, person where no road where we one day follow. Go
Follow.
and invest. The truth is, this is a worthy cause to borrow for. If you need to borrow that 51K to join the club for the quality of information you will get and the quality of decisions you will make and the quality of money that will be returned to you this year, then do it. So please run there and join now. Except, of course, you don't mind. In January, you pay 100K. That's fine. I I have
Sorry,
sense.
darling.
I no, the coffee is we have more sense than that. Somebody, no, this is not advice. This is conversation. Let me borrow what Shola said. Somebody will go and remove small money from their child's school fees that they've been saving to go and do this investment, because this will be the end of the lack of money for school fees just by the quality of information you will get. Well, don't say Joyce told you. Oh. Now just talk with the talk. It will be advice and the give person. Ashola. The question
I do.
still about the opportunity to now have a US social security number, a US address, because of some kinds of other transactions that people will want to do. What's that about?
Okay, so in 2013, President Obama passed some laws that sort of favored small business owners. Now, it had been existing, but it became more popular after that. And what happens literally is when you register your business in the US, your business is like a citizen. We all like, it's a citizen. But in this case, you are not your business. Your business is an individual, a legal entity that becomes a citizen of America. Literally, I'm just using that, as now. What now happens is that the things that you cannot do as a non-citizen, your business can do.
Hmm.
Right now, you can't just go online and say, I want to open a bank account if you're not a US citizen or a resident. How? But when you register a business, LLC is the most common limited liability company. It's like a promoted sole proprietor. In Nigeria, you have a sole proprietor business, you have a limited liability, you have foundation. But there you still have sole proprietor, but LLC We could be single partner owned by you, just one person, multi-partner, and all of those ones. An LLC is uh, a limited liability company that could be owned by one person. And what it means is that when you register an LLC, it confers the right of a legal entity, and whoever owns it is not an issue there. So what that means is that with your company registered, you can have a US bank account. Sorry. You can have a
8 o'clock.
US, yes, phone, no, that's my alarm. A US bank account, a US phone number, a US address. With your bank account comes a debit card. You see? So with your bank account, you can do transactions. Like you can receive money, you can pay money, you can be connected, you can connect your business to Stripe. Some of those limitations that we have as Nigerians. So directly, and we have helped a lot of business owners who have not even never gone to America. Now, the only thing is it doesn't come with a social security number. It
Okay.
comes with an EIN tax. So rather than social security number, it's a tax identification number.
Identity.
So what SSN is to an individual is what an EIN is to a business. Do you see? And with your EIN, Joyce, I have done amazing things this year. None
Like
of your
what? Tell us some. Yes. Please, please,
Ah.
please. Tell us only one. Only one, please.
So there is this platform in the UK that it's like a mobile bank. Mobile bank, you can receive money, you can transfer money. Nigeria is banned. Actually, if you open that page from a Nigerian IP address, you can open it. Nigeria is banned. But I created an account for my business using my EIN, of course, with a what VPN. Bam, I entered. I can transfer money. I can receive money from all around the world. I have bank accounts in every currency. Euro bank account, Canadian bank. You know that Canada program that I said they paid me my honorarium in
Into your
Canadian
Canadian
dollars.
bank accounts.
I now
Wonderful.
moved it from my Canadian bank account into my USD. I could convert it into pounds. Global citizens. Do you see? So how could I have accessed that feature? My EIN. Just my I may not be American citizen, but my company
Your
is
business
American
is
citizen.
American citizen.
Do you see? And it's very cheap, relatively. Relatively. 649. It's going up to 699 sometime in January. Get your
$649 US.
US dollars, which is about, if
Everybody,
not
go
for
and
the
do the
conversion,
go and do the math in naira. We're not talking naira here, please. Hello.
with your US phone number, when people call you from all over the world, it is forwarded to your local number. So I have a US line, when they call me, it rings on my Nigeria line. If you're in the UK, it rings on your UK line. When they text me, it comes in as an email. Beautiful. My US bank account, I have the virtual card. This phone must not get lost. It must not steal it because the information there. So I have a virtual card. All those days of you can't use more than $100. You can't pay, with your Nigerian bank. These days, the limit
Anything.
is taken off. I can buy things online everywhere. There's no easy Nigerian card, it won't go through. That is not in my vocabulary again.
So
Do you
the
see?
question I have now that somebody might be wondering is,
Hmm.
why do I need this feature in my life? What is it? What can it do for me?
Hmm.
Why do I need
Did
to
you
have?
did you attend John's class? I'm sure it touched on the reason why you must not allow Nigeria to sort of what's the word? John is a futurist. He believes so much in the power of global mobility, right? Now, as a business owner in Nigeria, there are so many things that are restricted. You want to buy something overseas, if it is $99, sometimes it won't go through. If it's $101, it won't go through. What sort of life is
Okay.
that? So you, and then aside that, you want to pay for something, you buy dollar from a malam, you can't transfer it if it is more than $5,000. How can we do big things?
Am I the one frozen? Am I the one frozen? Or is it Chola? Okay, Jenny, you can hear me. Okay. All right, we'll just hold on. I'm sure she would refresh her internet and come back in. Would have to release her shortly. We've held on to her for 2 solid hours. So the last question I'm going to ask her when she comes back, and if by any chance she doesn't come back in, we will get the information. How exactly can we make the payment? It's roughly $700, 650. She said 649, right? So $650 to get this privilege where you would register your business as a US entity, and then you can get your bank details and all. So for some of us who sell books globally, and the challenge has always been, where do people pay monies into? If your book is on Amazon, for example, that's a good place for your monies to drop right into. If you sell other commodities that you haven't even thought you could sell to people in the world, now you can sell them using your US business. So you can now sell globally, literally, rather than just be a local champion struggling with how to sell to your Nigerian community. Almost every, what do you call it? Almost every tool, there's a word I'm looking for, uh, instrument that we have locally has limits. Shola is back. Welcome back. So
Sorry,
we
my
were
internet
answering the
threw me out.
question. No, it's
Right.
fine. We were answering the question about, why do I need this? Somebody doesn't really have a massive, they don't really shop abroad, buy things, but they sell commodities here. Some of them have intellectual property, some books, or some of them have goods and services that they have been looking for ways to sell to people abroad or stuff. Or Shola, please enlighten us more. Why does someone need this?
Okay, all right. So, I mean, for those who have intellectual stuff that they can sell, you see, it, the number issue that you are solving, the problem you're solving for yourself is, allowing people have access to what you have and allowing them pay you using appropriate means. Now, you are using local payment gateway. You have earned the money from overseas. Then you now convert the money to naira. Do you see? You, you,
Chai.
you are not hedging against currency risks. You are losing money in the process, right? So if it's working at home, you're exporting it, you are getting paid for it, keep it in the currency with which you have been paid. And then some people, when they hear that Nigeria, I'm not doing. Yeah, there
So
are
we're paying to remove that stigma also.
yes, there are opportunities I have signed up for using my US company name, and because Smart Stewards LLC, because they see that it's an American company, they consider you. So you are able to contend with your contemporaries around the world. You are removing that Nigerian factor. You are opening yourself up for global opportunities. You are urging against currency risks. Do you see? These are
Yes.
some of the things. There are so
Okay.
many advantages. People want to call
So
you, you give them your American number. They don't know whether you're in America or not. They call you, it rings on your phone. Yeah. Hello, is this Shara Adesakin? I said, yes, this is what can. You know what? That's it. You have a registered agent whereby when you receive official emails to your US address, they scan it to you. At the end of the day, my own physical card is on its way because I applied for it late. Because I have a virtual card, I'm like, what do I need a physical card for? But sometimes you want to buy a ticket and then you're at the airport, they want to see the card. Sometimes you want to use it online, they will say, take the front and back of of the card. That's why I need a physical card. But aside that, there's just so many things. So many advantages. So again,
Yeah.
you are hedging against currency risks, you
Which
are
is very
earning in
important.
dollars, you are building credibility because I mean you're in Nigeria, nobody needs to know. You have a website that has your US address, legit, your US phone number. You can connect your business to payment gateways, international gateways like PayPal, like Stripe. You can earn all around the world. My sisters and brothers,
What's
don't
what's
do
what's
yours.
what's not to do? So final question is how? We've said
Okay.
what, how now
Okay,
can
I am
we
trying
get this
to
done?
bring the link. I'm also trying to catch up on YouTube. I'm going to send a link to you. It's very straightforward and automated.
Okay.
Once you pay using that link, instantly you get an email, you get access to your dashboard. It is largely automated, the process. You start by uploading the name of the company, like they do a name. We do all the work for you back end anyway.
Yes.
So they do a name search, you submit your name. If it goes to within 1 or 2 days, it comes back. Within 3 days, you get your company documents, LLC, single member. Even if you want a double member, I mean, multi-member, you can put it there. Once you get that one, the next thing is you get your EIN. 2, 3 weeks, 1 month at the max. Within 30 working days, the whole process, if all things work well, you know, you get your EIN. With your EIN, you can connect to Stripe already, you can connect to PayPal, then you get your bank account in a couple of days. So I just put on YouTube the link. You can go to smartstewards.com and then go to the menu tab, register your company in the year. You get a dashboard that shows you the process. It is seamless. It is you don't need any human intervention, but we would also add you to a WhatsApp group so that you can ask questions. Oh, this is delaying. We have partners in the US. They work day and night to ensure that all of these things are hunky dory.
That work out.
Yeah.
Please send me the link as well personally after this, and I will send it to all the WhatsApp groups, the Wiser WhatsApp group, so that in
Right.
case you missed it here, you will get it. Shola, thank you so much. Everyone, just put it in the chat, say thank you, give the shout outs, the virtual claps, follow her page, her
And make
Instagram.
sure you screen grab and tag me on Instagram. Tell me you attended. Share with me your learning points, and we can take the conversation away from there.
Please do so. Please do so. Thank you so much. We love you. Wiser Nation, we are better in 2022. I mean, 2022 was a great year. We said what? 2022 was a great year. We are already saying 2022 was a great year. Shola, we're going to let you go right now. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We love
Thank you.
you.
God bless you. Love you. See you.
Love you. All right. Last night we were at crossover with John Obidi Day One, chatting the course. Pastor Lakule Shorion was on. Oh my gosh, it was just mind blowing. And we're going to be there tonight from 6 p.m. till midnight. Again, even though somehow I'm doubting we'll be there till midnight, I think we'll be there till like 1 a.m. And it's going to be amazing. Again, it's the year of speed for the self-made public figure. And one thing that happened last night, amongst many, which I will not share, one thing was the quality of network. I was like, Kai, this is the question people have been asking. How do I break into certain networks? How do I break into certain networks? How much was the program? 50K. We got in there, and the first 3 hours yesterday, there were about 60 something of us or 70 of us. The first 3 hours, we were all just getting to know people, introducing ourselves. It was amazing. It was amazing. Breaking into networks. Some of the business deals that we would succeed in and succeed at this year would be because of the quality of network. So I don't think it's too late. If you weren't there yesterday, don't argue with your future. 50K is somewhere around you. You just think you're keeping it for something that is more important. You might need to sit down and look at it again and say, is this thing really more important than the quality of network and what I can do with in collaboration with? Remember, she said guided collabos. Where would you get the guidance from if you're not in the room where the conversation is being had? Thank you all for being here today. Tomorrow is our last day. Oh, wow. Tomorrow is our last day together on Wiser 2021. We will continue, of course, in the community. Our conversations will continue. We will have our quarterly programs, our quarterly town halls. Once in a while, we will bring in a few people who will just shed light. It's a virtual meeting. Hey, big sis Chinwe, I see you. It's a virtual meet. Is Augustine here or Erica? Please, do you have the link to join the crossover? Please, I don't have it right now, but I know if Israel Alabi, I want to believe you have the link. Please just copy and put it here in the comments now so that those who are interested can join in. It would be amazing to see us all there. I was happy to see quite a number of people from Wiser Nation. Look, get in there if you can. Get in there. It's the place to be. YBB will be speaking today, and I can't wait to glean from her. And then John Obidi will also be speaking today. It will be explosive. Some of the guides that we're giving, things to prepare for, where to have your mind, what you should be thinking on, what some things you should be focusing on in this new year. And guess what? It's not just about the new year, it's about the next 5 years, the next 10 years, where your investments should be heading, where your mind space, where your solutions should be heading to. For example, I heard one thing that I had never thought of before. I'm just going to say one out of the number of things I wrote. I said one. Now I'm saying another one. Olakunle Shoriyo said, check the richest people in the world, really. They don't sell, they sell to individuals. They are the ones who sell a service, provide a solution to people, individuals. He said organizations like, he called a few names, organizations like this that can never be the richest companies in the world because they sell to governments and companies. They don't sell to people. So I started asking, who do I sell to? Do I sell to individuals or do I sell to people? So imagine if I can sell one product to 4 million people or 40 million people, as against being able to sell one product to only one company. So I must be looking for ways or creating solutions that individuals can access at a good price. And the system will be, how do I get this to more people? Does this make sense? So if I'm selling one product at 1 naira, if I can sell it to 40 million people, that's 40 million naira, right? And I'm just being extremely modest. So that one just made me say, so like Shola said, we're thinking of income, influence, impact. How am I going to multiply the number of people who buy my one product? Many of the biggest companies in the world are selling the same product, but to millions of people. I think we'll leave that there for tonight, for this morning. We hope to see you at crossover tonight, at John Obidi's event, crossover tonight. Don't worry, I'm not making any money from it. I just want to see you grow. I want to see you succeed. So be there. And tomorrow is our final day together. There will be more at the last set of names that would partake of the gifts from that stranger and more. So see you tomorrow. I love you so much. Bye for now.